Today is December 9th. Winter meetings are afoot, and Jake is on site bringing us all the news. Let's talk Yanks. Talkin Yanks with old jomboy. Jomboy Jake. Yes.
Weekly awards, stat lines, theme, and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin. Talkin Yanks with old jomboy. Jomboy and Jake.
Jake.
Talkin Yanks with old jomboy. Jomboy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin Yanks. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. BBD and young Matty Mass producing away as Jake is coming to us from Orlando at winter meetings. Jake, what's the butt scuttle?
James Davis, Matty Mass, Jolly Olive's right next to me, and literally Scott Boras has set up his annual winter meetings conference right next to us. I think
it's starting soon?
BBD just took a picture or maybe sent a picture, but it's literally right across from us. So there's a massive pile of people here. I think we were just updated that his new Boris pun he just used was that whoever gets a Ranger Suarez will be armed and rangerous.
That's awful.
So
tell him I say that's awful.
So, okay, Scott, we hate it.
Presented by SeatGeek.
Presented by SeatGeek. So, yeah, man, it's winter meetings. It's a weird baseball orgy of just everyone. I will complain about there's like a job fair for college kids that also happens at this event. And they are just mixed in it way too much. Like a lot of winter meetings, they have this is the media area. They don't have that, so it's just free for all. So I guarantee 3 college boys will come up to me and be like, "Hey, dude, like your guys' stuff," which is nice.
Nice.
But it's just a lot. So Boris is here.
Is anyone coming to you and repeating the same exact pitch about their data company?
No, that's for you
multiple
only.
Times.
Joe Girardi just walked by, and we like him.
If you see that gentleman, you tell him he's single-handedly the reason I'm not there.
Jim, you know I
Guy gave me the same pitch about his data company.
Yeah.
Word for word 3 times.
Yep.
Second time I was nice. I just thought, okay, he's a mistake. He's a salesman. Third time I was like, dude, you already said this. All of it.
Kevin
Crazy.
Kiermaier just walked by, so maybe he helps the Yankees left field situation.
Can you turn the camera? I mean, we're looking at your butt brain.
What was that? Right at the end.
We're looking at your
because you withholding your coffee like that, calling me a butt brain.
I said ugh brain.
BBD's going for it. Okay, so BBD's turning to the floor. So there's the Boris scuttlebutt. And then people are just walking by. So.
Tell that guy his backpack's too low. He's going to have back problems.
Excuse me.
This ain't middle school no more, guy. You're an adult.
Excuse me, sir. So, yeah, it's, I don't know. As you guys well know, probably listen to this, the Yanks haven't done anything. No team has really done anything, and there's just different rumors as everyone flushing out the trade market. Does it have to do with the CBA being up next year? Is it just a weird crop of free agents?
I will say I don't think much happens before the Boris session.
So they sent us, you'd actually like this, they sent us every year the winter meeting transactions, and last year was a crazy one. Soto was a rival day. And then from there, it was a ton of signings, crochet trade. Like last year was a juiced one. The year before that was literally nothing. And it's starting to look like this one is like yesterday's signing was Mike Soroka and who did our Rays sign? Steven Matz to the Rays.
Multi-year deal, Jake.
Yeah. So that's where we're at.
I think it'll get better.
Okay.
I think everyone's reporting that Schwarber is now the dam.
Right.
And Passan kind of hammered on that first, which some people were like, oh, that's interesting. Like, didn't realize he was going to be the clog, but they're saying once Schwarber goes, a lot will happen, which is interesting.
And I guess for baseball fans, I think one of the exciting things. Oh, PBDs.
Kyle Schwarber has signed with the Phillies on a 5-year, $150 million contract.
Look at this.
Damn unclogged.
The dam's been unclogged.
We're live until the next signing.
Wow. Kyle Schwarber to the Phillies. Okay, so
Happy for Shelfie.
that's something. Happy for Shelfie. And I was literally just about to tee it up that a lot of the free agents are still expected to return to their team.
Yeah.
And I was going to say if one of those dominoes falls out of place, it could screw everything up. But first domino in place.
Well, there was tough luck to be a Pirates fan. They made an offer to Schwarber.
100 mil, just 50 short.
Yeah, 50 short and all the other stuff.
Yeah, the team.
But they made an offer, so don't put them on blast.
Right.
Or don't file a grievance, please.
Yankees won't be getting Schwarber.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Now Alonso is next. Like if he goes to the Mets, you're right. It's almost like nothing has happened, even though things have happened.
Right. So that's the
And then it's Murakami, and he goes to the Giants with Tucker, and the Giants are now the Dodgers.
Yeah, supposedly the Giants aren't spending, so I don't know. Like there are a lot of wild card free agencies. It's just like Bregman and the Red Sox are still kind of a thing, but is that going to happen? They're supposed to be an Alonso team. I don't know. What are the Yanks going to do, Jim? That's probably what people want to hear.
Cashman went and talked in his quotes. I just read through them again. I watched part of Hot Stove. I fell asleep. He started talking about the bullpen. Not that put me to sleep. It was late for me. I try to go to sleep as soon as the kids do in the offseason. And I woke up to like the quotes and the pulled quotes from the section I listened to, which was about the lefties. And the way it reads and the way he said it were wildly different, in my opinion.
Okay.
I came to the office and we were like, did you hear? He basically confirmed they're going to sign a righty. And I was like, he's talking about like just bringing Amed Rosario back. Like, he didn't sound like it was anything. He said last year it took us to the deadline to find a righty bat. So do we need to do it now? No. Like it was kind of like, it was very not like, if you want to hear him talk about something and put bank in it, listen to everything he said about a starting pitcher. I mean, those quotes are insane.
Yeah, I mean,
not insane. They're very straightforward.
Yeah, I think I don't think it's as far off as you might think, because I think the other element you're missing is Paul Goldschmidt was a big move for them last year, and a right-handed guy who carried part of the offense for the first half of the season. That I think it's a tier above Amed Rosario. It's the whole song and dance that we've done. It's if you're bringing someone in, where are they going? Because technically we have guys at every spot. And, yeah, I just don't know who that right-handed batter would be. And, for me, I don't see them investing a big chunk of money in the pitching because they have so much invested in the pitching. That I don't know. It's the great dance that Yankee fans are doing right now, because there's also I think the quotes that are making me the most nervous. I feel like this year the money talk with them has been a little louder than usual.
Yeah, the Harper year, it was really loud, and they stayed true. They didn't sign any of the guys.
Exactly.
But yeah, the way that. Yeah, I agree with you there. Like the way that they're talking about this offseason, and then the people that are like usually in the ear of Cashman or, Curry and Kay, who have, tidbits. It seems like the way they're presenting their plan, at least, is Bellinger, want him back. And then it's trade for a starter, trade for a righty, platoon guy. And that's it. And like not spending a ton of money.
Yeah, I mean, even Bellinger, I feel like they're walking back a little bit. That they're starting to talk where his price range ends up. That, there's another side to this. That with the Yankees prospect capital, I think that's a great way to acquire pitching at this point. But they'd be using that to acquire pitching. So how are they viewing their young guys? Because they, formerly ERC. He's supposed to be on the cusp of becoming a big leaguer. Like, are the Yankees factoring him as part of their rotation plans?
Holy
Because
smokes.
they just
Can't drop an ER on us.
He's ER, dude. He dropped the C. We talked about this.
I know you're talking about a prospect. Elmer?
Yeah.
There's guaranteed 90% of people don't know who ER is.
I think you'd be surprised. Yankee fans, ERC. He just rebranded.
Elmer Rodriguez, correct?
Yeah.
Got it.
He was traded for your guy Narvaez, the former Yankee. That
Former Yankee great.
the Yankees, again, the organization likes to taste themselves where they can. Hello, Sabrina Carpenter.
Hey.
That Cam Schlittler just got called up as their pitching guy, and he looked great for them. And I think ER was regarded in higher regard than Cam Schlittler. So it's how are they juggling their young pitching on the cusp? Every team that is a seller looking to trade is saying they want pitching that's on the cusp. So I just don't know how the Yankees are going to navigate that.
I got Dan Rourke in the other room kind of going, he just screamed. I don't know if it's not a delayed reaction to Schwarber because I heard that reaction. So I'm kind of like on passing button.
Passing.
Edwin Diaz is a Dodger.
Wow.
That makes the way Rourke screamed. He said, "No way, bro!"
Yeah.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Cohen because he's in there fucking pacing. He's a Padres fan.
Oh, yeah. Those two are a bad combo.
It came from Will Salmon, who, sorry, I don't have your notifications on, so I was digging.
Dang.
Wow. Okay. Whatever. That doesn't change much.
Yeah.
But damn, the dam's done.
The dam's open, Jim. Today's episode is brought to you by Shopify. Shopify is the best place to start and grow a business. We know because we did. Day one, we linked up with Shopify. Day 2000, we are still with Shopify. And we just revamped and relaunched our merch store, our new /line site. Go check it out if you haven't yet. We brought all the ideas. They brought the execution. And Shopify, it's just, I remember when we originally were looking around, how are we going to do this? Where should we go? Shopify was the clear winner. And they have these tools that help you grow your business. It shows you what your people are looking for, where they are, who, what, where, when, why, with Shopify. Rhyme. If you want to be like us, start building your brand from the ground up, it's time to go over to Shopify. Start your trial today. Click that link, shopify.com/talkin, if you're ready to leave the amateurs and head over to the big leagues.
Were the Dodgers in on Schwarber? No.
No, they have a DH.
So they were just politely waiting. Yeah, let's get into some of these quotes because there's the challenge trades. That's what he's calling trades, where you trade away talent from your 26-man for another 26-man guy.
Right.
And that Cashman said we would call them challenge trades. And he referenced Pineda for Jesus Montero, which just fucking screams like Dominguez for Mackenzie Gore.
Edward Cabrera.
For who? Edwin Cabrera?
Edward Cabrera. He's on the Marlins. They like each other. Like
Similar service time left.
Yeah, like, 3 years left on a starting pitcher for a prospect budding. If he's giving us that trade, the only way you can compare it is Dominguez for a starter. Yeah. But anyway, he said, on the business and player side, you're somewhat set in theory, but the conversations could lead to what I call challenge trades, where all of a sudden something whets your appetite, or you whet somebody else's appetite with one of these kind of interesting conversations. Next thing you know, areas become vacant.
Are we going to have to bleep half of that out? That sounded filthy.
It does sound filthy. But in there, he's saying areas become vacant. So he's talking about Jazz, McMahon, Wells, maybe Rice, although they have used Rice as no, he's our guy. We like him.
Rice. That the Boone conference, I know we're not going to talk about that a lot. The only thing I took away from that is they think Ben Rice is one of the best hitters in baseball, and they're going to find that out.
Cashman he had him like that as well.
Yeah.
So that's Cashman saying you never know. people might come to us with an offer, or we might go shop these guys. We're going to whet their appetite with a McMahon or a Jazz, and then areas become vacant.
Right.
That paragraph has people in our office like thinking they're trading McMahon and signing Bregman. That's what I walked into. And I was like, I don't know about all that. He said, we're certainly open-minded. Let's start with the premise. We have good players on the roster. We have really good players on this roster, and we are covered in most all areas that you need to be covered. But then you peel the onion a little bit, and those players individually are all part of a solution, not a problem. But I would call that a challenge trade, and we are open-minded to those. So they asked him, like, Jazz, would you trade Jazz? And he said, or like McMahon, he said, you could do either one. Our history is we've let these things play out for better or for worse. Jazz is somebody who I think is currently part of the solution, someone who has made us better by getting him 2 deadlines ago and giving us athleticism. He's an all-star second baseman, great defense, steals bags, power, all that stuff. So he's been a great get. But at the same time, the collection of all, whether it's third base, second base, first base, catcher, center field, they're all left-handed hitters. So that seems like he's saying, he said in theory it's going to be hard to pull off, but he's whetting other people's appetites on trading from that roster, and he's hoping people whet their appetite.
Yeah, I think, and again, maybe this is a scary thing, maybe it's a good thing, but I do think the door is open on everything. Like I don't think Jazz is off the table, and that's kind of what that weird wet Cashman quote is saying. That like, I don't know, man. I had someone come up to me the other day that was like, hey, I think the Cubs are going to trade Nico Horner this year because he's got 1 year left and they're not going to re-sign him. And then I went through all the times we talked about the Yankees potentially being a Nico Horner team, and then I cycled through okay, well now, do we have Horner, Caballero, McMahon, which that's really fun defensively, but also what is the bottom of our lineup? I think the 2 options are this. The Yankees either need to do a ton of work, and like Wells is on the table, Jazz or McMahon, Dominguez, and retool the whole lineup, or the Yankees are looking at the fact that they were first in homers last year and first in OPS and are like, it's just a tweak, and we're going to bring in this starting pitcher.
Yeah, but Goldie's first half was so good.
And
it's similar,
Belly was the second best player throughout the entire season.
Like Matt Carpenter was the second best player the first half his year. 2017, we had Matt Holliday, and this year we had Matt Goldie, who goes by Paul.
Yeah, Matthew Paul Goldie.
But those guys all helped out early, and because they didn't help out in the second half, like people forget how much they contributed to that offense.
Yeah.
Like Goldie was batting 380 2 months into the season, basically. So Belly coming back needs to happen. They confirmed that Tucker was not in the premises. He went to Dunedin toward the Blue Jays. They have talked to his representation, but there was a rumor that he was seen at Yankees camp, and then they said, no.
Jimmy, you just would have made fun of a kid so hard. There's
That's
a lot
not
of
like me.
It's like you. There's a lot of baseball fans here. This kid was wearing like a baseball jacket. He kind of stood and looked around and saw a lot of baseball people. He lowered his jacket and he had a Cubs Sean Dunston jersey on, and then he started walking again.
San Francisco Giants jacket.
Yes,
if that
it was out of a bad '80s movie.
So he lowered it so you could just see the name on the back.
Yes,
he thought he was doing a big reveal.
Let's take the jacket off, and that's fine.
It was one of those things that looked fake in Lifetime.
I get it. You want to wear that so the beat reporters are like, ooh,
Yeah.
you know. My dad has
Nice.
a Yankees jersey says Costanza on the back, and he loves wearing it to the stadium because people always compliment it.
I watched him
Well, you
play
can't-
in '88. He was
Can't
fantastic.
just lower it. Yeah. So the other quote that and we talked about this, like it was the first thing Cashman said in his very first press conference about starting pitching. He doubled down on that. And his quote is, I'd love to add a starter regardless.
Regardless.
We'd just love to get more quality arms out there. And he went on to say that they add a starter. They'd love to add a starter now, and they think that some of the young starters could be pushed to the bullpen if they end up having too many when everyone returns.
Right.
Which I actually kind of like.
Yes.
Which makes me think he wants to re-sign Belly. If you're thinking that Brian Cashman is Taylor Swift, which many people do.
Many people do.
And he's just leaving Easter eggs for us. Like if you're like, this conversation has all the puzzle pieces and the hints.
Right.
The puzzle he laid out for us, he laid out for me, like, everyone interprets things differently, is re-sign Belly, trade Dominguez for a pitcher, a la Montero for Pineda, then eventually Warren, Heel, go to the bullpen, Clark, whoever it is, go to the bullpen if they're all healthy. And then, they get like one reliever like Brad Keller. And they go, chip, chop, we're done. That doesn't lead a righty. Amed Rosario comes back.
Yeah, I think the righty thing, and again, like he already said a little bit, could you potentially wait to the deadline to see what's available there? But
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I guess I'm a little nervous on the Belly front. Like, he is a free agent for other teams that want an outfielder, other teams with money, the Mets, the Blue Jays, the Dodgers, supposedly, that if the Yankees don't get Belly, it's then what is that plan? Because now our offense, which is still super Judge dependent, is now missing the second best player and like the steadiest guy on the team last year. That where is my offense at? And I get the pitching thing, man. And like, look at the Dodgers last year and the pitchers they had available and the pitchers they had on the IL. Like, same with Toronto. Like Jose Barrios, who has a very big contract with them, he was out. That like, you need the pitching depth. And the Yankees by midseason should have that in a lot of different ways. But I find myself freaked out by the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, with good reason to be. The lineup, I mean, it's very lefty, and the bottom is light in a bad way. You can be light in a good way.
Ooh.
I would say the Blue Jays had some light in a good way guys.
Light in a good way.
Yeah.
Less strikeouts.
Yeah, they make the pitcher battle. They do what the game asks them to do.
Right.
They play baseball.
Win the game, not hit 20 homers over 162.
Yeah. Other teams have guys batting 8th, 9th, warming up practice swings with 3 bats, all donuts on them.
Oh, boy.
And then they don't understand there's an outside part of the strike zone. So that's light in a bad way.
Light in a bad way.
Yeah. So I think they're going to get a starter. Mackenzie, Gore, and C.J. Abrams. Who says no? 2 lefty, Jake.
2 lefty. Literally 2 lefties.
2 lefties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a righty.
Boone.
Skims. Let's talk about comfort where it matters most. Your underwear. The downstairs, people. Take care of it. Skims, the brand known for revolutionizing shapewear, has now launched a line of men's underwear that's about to change your daily routine. Skims helps takes the guesswork out of underwear, as they are truly a gift you can get excited for the season. I have graduated high school, college, and my underwear game. Like, step it up, people. It's worthwhile. Take care of your downstairs. And when I see my skimmies waiting for me, I know it's going to be a good day. Shop at Skims, skims.com. Let them know we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey and select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. If you're looking for the perfect gifts this holiday season, Skims Holiday Shop is now open, skims.com.
Boone had tough words for Wells, kind of, which was nice.
Oh, what'd you
Like
hear? Because I was there, and it was the only part I could kind of hear from his press conference, because press conferences are the worst thing in the world. Anyone that's daydreaming about media or baseball beat reporter, writer, or whatever, that's good. Have your dream. A scrum is one of the worst things I've ever seen in the world.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. He said about Wells that, like, as a compliment to him, we surely think there's more in the tank offensively.
Yeah, again, this was like the only part I could hear. He gave he's like, to have a catcher with his defense be able to hit 20 homers a year, and then he like pause and collect himself, and like you said, he's like, I'm saying this as a compliment. We think Wells has more in there. So I don't think that was coming off in a real shots fired. If anything, I took that as more reassurance for Wells.
The quote was, I think he's really good offensively. I think he can be a really good major league hitter. But I think as a credit to him, I expect more out of him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in the past he said, like, oh, he's going to hit.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but it's at least acknowledging he had an awful season.
Not fully. He didn't say that.
Yeah. Ugh. Anything else?
I did hit Boone. I forget if I shared this on Talkin' Yanks before. One of the first times Boone was silly with me, he'd hit me with the handshake finger tickle.
Oh, nice.
I hit him with that, and he was shook. Got a really good picture of it.
If you see him again, invite him to play in the Tasty, second annual.
Done.
Let him know. Boone came out and said to the public, which I don't think they've really said this, that Dominguez is not going to play center field.
Correct.
He told us that after we wrapped up an episode in here. But I don't think they had said, like, I think they were still part of the fan base, like, clamoring, like, well, he could do it.
Right.
And Boone shut that down.
Well, it's just one of the weird things that the Yankees do, and we've talked about, and I hope that I'm adding their handling of outfielders to a list of how I think they should change things. But in the same sentence, they're like, we don't want to play Dominguez in center, but left field is a very new position to him. And it's like, well, should there have been more anticipation here?
Yeah, someone debunked that, and they keep saying that as a caveat, but he actually played just as much left as center in the minors, and was transitioning to left field because the Yankees are like tricking fans into thinking, and he's somewhat new, but there was a Reddit thread on the Yankees subreddit where one guy responded and dug up the actual stats. He's like, people just don't realize they were doing this. It's just COVID injuries limited his reps anywhere. But it was a good post because it was like, oh shit, that's not how they talk about him.
Yeah, in the minor leagues, he played 2,000 innings of center field, 500 innings of left field.
Yes, but I think he's in the minor league since he was 16, so I think.
So when you add in his left field last year as a major leaguer, that starts getting you closer. But that's him as a major leaguer in the first year playing a poor left field. That's part of the problem.
Yes, in where was it? They started platooning him, I think, as he graduated, because he was 21 years old. So you hold out hope for center field. For them to even pivot in the minors, whatever. Kid can't play center field. So
we've just seen him in left field where he hasn't played well and he hasn't played a ton of left field. So,
yeah. But there's no way I'm looking at that guy in left field and putting him in center field. I mean, he can't read a ball, at all.
Right, but we've done this before, and I do believe center field and left field are different positions. The ball comes off the bat differently. It's that fading away from you property that you don't get in center field. That again, experience-wise, he hasn't seen a lot of that. And everyone preaches about his work ethic. It's a massive left field that the Yankees have also harped on having stalwarts defensively there. That, yeah, it's. I don't know. I don't agree with the proceeds. Where's Spencer Jones playing the outfield? What are the odds of him being a center fielder?
I have no idea if he grades out as a good outfielder or not. He's tall. I saw him rob a home run once. Okay, hold on. This is the response from the Turtle Shepherd.
Okay.
I think is good. So this is a very common misconception. For years, scouting reports have indicated that despite the athleticism, Dominguez has had bad reads in the outfield and was projected to be a bat-first corner outfielder. The Yankees started this transition in the minors in 2023, where Dominguez spent half his time in left field before ever reaching the major leagues. He spent about half his minors time in center field, 62 games, and the other half in left field, 47 games in 2023. 2022 scouting reports are saying his best position will graduate to right field. So he's never been known for a glove, even as a young prospect.
Correct, but that should have meant he should have gotten more corner outfield time.
Well, yeah, he's 21. I mean, they pivoted.
We're pivoting live.
Yeah, but that's not crazy. They pivoted in when he was in Double-A.
Sure, but whether we want to go Glaber, like Spencer Jones has only really played center field. So I'm hoping he projects well as a center fielder.
Yeah, or at least is good enough to go to the corners. There's an issue overall with defensive skills from the Yankees.
Bingo.
I mean,
yes.
But I don't know. Dominguez can't read the ball. You can't teach someone to read a ball. His steps are bad. His jumps are bad.
I agree. I just think the two positions are different, and I've never seen Dominguez play center field. I'm sure it's not good, but
well, you have. He played a lot in 2023 or 4, whatever.
Dominguez?
He looks tiny out there. When he first came up, before he got hurt.
Yeah, but we also that's a very small sample size, and I don't remember us being like Dominguez looks tragic in center.
I remember.
I remember him looking small.
I think for his PPP last year, we looked at some of his defensive plays a little bit just to try to remember, and he didn't really get tested at all. There wasn't like a hard play he had to make or not make.
In 2023, he played 8 games in center field. So
yeah, those are his 8 games, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Hurt his arm. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they should just teach awareness more. He doesn't know where to throw the ball.
That's also a problem.
And he's got a shortstop who doesn't know where to ask the ball to be thrown.
Also
so, that's
a problem.
That
Albert
was
Pujols and Carlos Beltran walking by.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Some big names.
Wow.
Yeah.
They are big. Albert. Nice.
Big guy.
He's walking next to a tall guy that's throwing off the equation a little bit. But yeah, he's like if I was standing next to him, I'd be like, "Whoa, Albert Pujols is huge." But damn,
he's kind of walking in a group of talls.
Yeah,
he and Beltran are about the same. We've been by Beltran, much taller.
Sat on a couch with Beltran. People forget that.
Yeah, that was wild. That was interesting. Okay, Scott Boras on Cody Bellinger's market. It's not for me to judge, but great players see red if they have a big bat yanked out of their lineup. I haven't met a team that dodges a 5-tool player. To fill the center field need is a giant step towards the playoffs. North and South outfielders that fly with power, they're rare birds. In the offseason, there's a lot of startup to organizations, and for that reason, there's a lot of angel investors that are looking for very versatile outfielders. So other than that, Belly doesn't have much interest. And that's Gary Phillips, who put all the team names in capital letters on Twitter.
Nice.
And you know what? God damn, I love that. I mean, that's awesome. I'd rather him do that shit. That's some Taylor Swift shit.
Yes.
I'd rather him do that than talk about bedside nurses and all the other weird metaphors.
Yeah.
Just put names. I mean, you got the Judge in there. You got Yankees. You got Reds or Red Sox.
Mets.
You got Mets, Dodgers, Phillies, Giants, Birds, so Orioles, and
Blue Jays.
Yeah, Blue Jays and Angels, which is just a fucking that's because they let him watch games at their
He
ball.
tastefully named half the league.
Yeah. No Marlins, no Fish.
No fish. Fish were not mentioned.
Marlins, Mariners out. No Astros.
Snakes, Rockies, Astros,
No Rays.
Rays.
It's good.
No White Sox.
Belly.
No AL. No Tigers. Boone said he's not talking with Belly or recruiting him because he knows what the Yankees are and what they have.
It's good.
It's good, I guess. I don't know. Try
Was the other Cashman talking about the pitching? Have we been, or I guess maybe just me, have we been reversed on the Cole and Rodon timelines? I think he said Rodon was lining up for April, May, and that Cole was lined up for June.
I think that's
I've always
the same
heard
as
they're
it's been.
both. I've always heard they're both like May. Cole is behind Rodon. I know that.
Okay. Yeah, I've had that flipped in my head, so that's on me.
Yeah. But like June is late for Cole. It doesn't. If he's like returns and is like good, that doesn't really matter.
Right.
It's a bummer to him because you can miss a month and still be like looked at as having a season if you can get to like 24, 25 starts.
Yeah.
But for just like his record keeping of Cole's career, it'd be a bummer if he only makes like 15 starts, because you kind of look at it like a half season.
If he maxes out at 20 starts,
Yeah.
it changes the
Yeah.
look.
Brad Keller in the bullpen.
You like him? Have you looked him up yet?
Well, I know him because he's the guy from Remember the Titans,
Right.
where he says, "Who you talking to?" And they say, "I don't see no livestock around here."
Yeah.
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 So I know him.
Yeah. You know him.
Yeah. He'd probably have like Brian Bruni vibes out of the bullpen. And one year he gets really skinny. We don't recognize him.
Yeah, it was funny. He was one of this year's Luke Weavers that he transitioned to the bullpen, and he was nasty. But yeah, they'd have to pay him. That I guess I just, we've somewhat trusted the Yankees with relievers that I haven't fully flushed out who I truly want. But I think his like Fangraphs rumored contract is like 3 years, 30, which that's for a relief pitcher, that's real money. Like, we're banking on that guy to be very good for us. DraftKings, one touchdown can change everything. And especially with our friends at the DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. And hey, Missouri, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me State. Here's the best part. New customers, bet just $5. If your bet wins, you will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Hello. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code JMBaseball. That's code JMBaseball. Bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Yeah. With Cashman not mentioning bullpen at all, and I think Jack Curry even said like bullpen is a back burner need right now.
Yeah.
I think they like their top end guys in Bednar, Doval, Cruz. They like Hill. I think they like Yarby as a swingman. And I think they believe in the ability to get relievers at the deadline who are having a good season over paying a lot for a guy who just completed a good season because it's such a volatile position.
Yeah.
And I think I somewhat agree with that. Like picking up a reliever at the deadline who's, obviously Doval didn't pan out well, but Bednar sure helped at the end.
And dude, it was a small sample size. Like Doval by playoff time, we ended up like asking for him. Again, that's a little bit supply and demand, but like, so
it doesn't seem like bullpen is a priority.
I'd like to think they're going to bring in another guy that would feel good pitching the 8th inning, because right now we have one, and a lot of people shouldn't have the best taste of Doval in their mouth. Gross.
Yeah. I mean, Brad Keller could be that guy for a little bit.
Could be that guy.
There's no one else really out there that's Sir Anthony Dominguez. Like, there's no one else.
Suarez, I guess.
Yeah, Suarez. That's a lot.
They like trading for guys.
Pete Fairbanks.
Who's going to be a rental?
I think the Rays let Fairbanks go. They didn't even want to deal with trading him.
Well, crazy son of a bitch. That's why.
Yeah.
Who's going to be free agent type? No, all positions, relief pitcher, 2027.
Gregory Soto.
Iglesias.
Danny Colom.
Carlos Estevez.
I don't know if he's a free agent.
Next year.
Next year.
I'm talking about, is the rental market
Gotcha.
better than because Diaz is gone. There's not many relievers right now that are Halsey signed.
That are day one you give an 8th inning to.
Yes. I looked at that list of relievers you can sign in free agency right now. I didn't really see it could be an 8th inning guy.
Yeah. Kenley
Besides,
Jansen, Tyler Rogers, Pete Fairbanks, Kyle Finnegan, Weaver.
They must not be on this list.
Brad Keller. I also had Keller's Fangraphs projection off. So
Because now Diaz, Williams, and Halsey have all signed.
yeah.
Iglesias signed. Pagan. So it would be Fairbanks. I'd like him.
Yeah. He's like Luke Weaver with just crazy eyes.
Yeah. Finnegan's had some good years. Gregory Soto, Sir Anthony Dominguez.
So, yeah, I still have the Yanks bringing in a guy like that. Because, man, it can – I don't know. I mean, we're an injury away from looking at our bullpen and I think being horrified.
For sure. I'm kind of horrified looking at it now.
Right.
But get a starter. Push Heel down there. Maybe. I don't know. Or he's an awesome starter. What starter do you want them to get, Jake?
Ooh.
Out of these available starters, okay?
Okay.
So Cashman said, I'm getting the starter. Basically. Right? Where's that quote? Okay. I would love to secure another starter no matter what, he said. Potential trade targets mentioned. Freddy Peralta.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sandy Alcantara.
We trade with the Brewers, Jim. Yeah, Sandy, the money, again, that starts changing the rest of the equation, I think. But, yeah, talent-wise.
Mitch Keller.
We met him, and he's nice, and I think there's talent in there. But, again, that's like the same money as Sandy, I think, that I don't know.
Mackenzie Gore.
Oh, yeah.
Not worried about being too lefty.
Not worried about being too lefty.
Edward Cabrera.
Yeah, I've been pushing that agenda.
Okay. So you want all of them. Greedy.
Well, okay.
All right.
You don't want them.
I would like more years. I'd like 2 years. I don't know if any of them have 2 years. Are they all rentals?
No,
Joe Ryan's.
I don't think anybody you said is a rental.
No, Joe
besides
Ryan's
Freddy.
2. Freddie Peralta's 1 year, $8 million. Mackenzie Gore's
Isn't Sandy,
2.
or does Sandy have an option?
Sandy,
has
I think there's a
options.
team option. Both years are pretty reasonable for what pitchers go for.
Yeah.
There's a club option.
Yeah.
So 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think they should go get one of those guys. I feel like they have a lot of trade capital right now.
I agree.
And like 10% of trade capital becomes good players.
I agree.
And until they overhaul their minor league system again, developing hitters and fielders, I trade the guys.
I agree. But yeah, I guess when I look at those names, like, and again, this obviously factors into these players' trade values, but like Edward Cabrera, Mackenzie Gore, they don't really get like paid. Like Sandy kind of gets paid. Sandy's around $20 million. Mitch Keller, I think it was around 18 or 17, something like that. So like even if you do trade, which again this would change their price, I guess I would pay the other prospect to not pay the other $10 million, and we can use that on your guy Okamoto at third, first, in the corners.
He's supposedly like awful defensively, so I don't know. Like the scouts are like harsh.
Who did
on
I
his
trade us
defense.
for yesterday, BBD? I was flirting with another team. They said
Mitch Keller is
Oh.
3 years. BT Dubs.
I traded for Wilson Contreras yesterday, because the Cardinals said they're definitely going to trade him. Oh my God, I think Scott Boras is coming over. I think Jolly wrote a check for us that I don't know. Okay, Jolly's here.
Okay. Well, I have a appointment with Ken Golden.
Right, I saw that on the calendar.
You know, I have a box under my desk of a bunch of MLB cards from my youth.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, I brought it to the office, but it's never done anything. It's been by my feet for like a year and a half.
Right.
Like tons of baseball cards.
Sure.
So I found out Ken Golden's coming, and I'm going to Storage Wars him. I'm going to give him like a 60-second ocular pat down of the box, and then he can make an offer to me. And I conveniently put a signed Boog Powell card. Like it doesn't look like it's like visible, but it doesn't look like I'm presenting it. Like there could be more underneath, you know?
I don't know, but I know.
Yeah, he's going to be like, oh, man, if I see that, there's probably more stuff in there. I don't think there is. It's a lot of cards, though. So we'll see what I get for it. But I do have that coming up in 8 minutes. So
all right.
You go ask Boris.
Yeah, he's literally right here flirting with Jolly. Go Yanks.
Go Yanks.
Jolly is talking to Boris?
Right
Jolly
now,
Heyman?
on the other side of this
filming
camera.
a short.
Oh, my goodness.
BBD, turn the
around.
camera.
Turn the camera. Let's see this. Jolly Heyman. All up in Boris's business. Oh, wow. Like right there.
Like right behind the camera. It's winter meetings, bro. It's one of the weirdest events in the world. I'm a little twisted. We'll see ya.
See you guys. Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.
Subscribe.
Oops.
I'm still leaning.
Can you read my sign?
It's out of frame. Say it. Bugs.
Bugs. My mind bugs all
the time.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at this.